are very, very good. A lot of champions and you know, winners on that side.
Yeah, can't wait to get things underway. And as you can see on your screen now, we are just seconds away. If we can get some information on formations, etc., which has passed us by because they're very quick here to get things up and running, we will do. But of course, kicking from left to right in the home strip, we are, of course, with the trio from Indonesia, WANI, and they have possession here, kicking from right to left, of course, the French contingent, the duo QDS, and it is Aubameyang on the left-hand side who finds it infield to Mkhitaryan, and now through towards Iwobi, and it's really early pressure here from the Indonesians, and it's a stunning stop from Czech. Great start from WANI.
Yeah, they worked it well there. I mean, QDS, they do obviously not maybe the quickest team out the gates, and they have to be careful. They got caught there a couple of times, but playing up against the team with that extra man is or could play dividend. I think they've got to try and ride out this storm early on, Adam.
Absolutely. We often talk of momentum, and it's crucial really for WANI to take advantage while they are on top as the ball gets whipped in towards the near post, headed up and away, and a chance to counter, but no, it's back in WANI possession. It's just a little bit scrappy on the edge of the area there as Aubameyang picks it up and finds Danny Welbeck forward and out towards this left-hand side, and a chance here now for QDS to really flex their early muscles as Iwobi's into the area, plays it across, and we've got the first goal inside the first 10 minutes, and a stunning counter-attacking goal, Ricky.
Yeah, they worked that really well. I mean, it's down the left-hand side, just sort of drew the defender, played it back to him, and you can see the run there. Just kept going, and a tidy, simple finish. Aubameyang, how many times are we going to call his name today? That's going to be the question.
Absolutely, and of course, Arsenal being used very heavily. We are in Arsenal's wonderful Emirates Stadium as well, and like you said, Aubameyang, he was ever present in the regionals, and he's going to be ever present again here. Of course, they touched on stat balancing, Ricky, in the introduction. What makes players choose Arsenal so much then?
Well, they have such height, such physicality. Obviously, those stats aren't necessarily going to be nerfed. You're not going to make a player shorter if he's 6'3". So that's why they choose the likes of those. We have another chance down the other end of the field there, but a good bit of defending. But yeah, that really comes into play. That's why people pick the Gunners, and that's why they've been so dominant in this competition.
Yes, indeed, as the ball gets played over the top in towards Iwobi, chance for an instant response, and it's a stunning save from Petr Cech, and the sort of save that could potentially gain you all 3 points. And how important are these early points in this first group game?
Well, very, very key. I mean, if you've played PES, you know the way it works. You'll often get that momentum shift that can come into play. So if you don't take those chances early, very much could play dividend later on in the match.
Yeah, Koscielny just taking the ball off the other Arsenal player on the other team. Of course, two Arsenals together, it's difficult to see how, if they could get a second goal here, it could be really, really difficult, but unfortunately for them, it was cleared away, and now Mkhitaryan has the chance to counter here through Danny Welbeck and forward towards Lacazette. Of course, a formidable partnership he formed with Aubameyang in the 2018-19 season, as Danny Welbeck now picks it up on the left-hand side, chance to play it in towards Iwobi, and cleared away. So we have 1-0 to QDS, and it is WANI that need to do a lot of digging here now.
Yeah, right now they really need to try and get back into this game. I mean, talking about the interviews before the match, they do like to play a lot of ball possession. That's kind of their style of play, WANI. So interesting to see if they can work that around. QDS are very much more direct, and we've already seen that, Adam, with that quick counter after just 10 or so minutes.
Yeah, we saw a lot in the regionals right across the globe that that counter-attacking style paid real dividends for a lot of teams, but then the likes of Christopher PW, of course, I think finished runner-up in the regional European finals, plays a completely different style, that possessional play, as Iwobi has the chance to shoot, no, back towards Aubameyang, and the chance looks to have ebbed away. What, if you could choose a playing style, what would you choose in terms of what's so effective? I'm going to come back to that as Iwobi plays it through towards Danny Welbeck and cleared away by Socrates, and a chance again for WANI. They can't take it, but it's back in towards Aubameyang. Another smart stop, and are they going to rue these missed opportunities?
Yeah, they keep on coming, don't they? They thought they had a chance here just to get rid of it. They try to be a little bit too cute, players getting in each other's way, but that's a fantastic save there by, of course, Petr Cech. But as you're saying, Adam, I do think key, personally for me, I would love to play quick, decisive football, especially co-op. you have to get players from the back to the front as quick as possible. Possession can work in your favour, but of course you've got to be leading for that to matter more. We have a chance, and a good save though.
Yeah, how important are set pieces as well, Ricky?
Very important. A lot of different options, of course. Flicking on is a traditional one that's often used in PES League. We've seen it time and time again. We'll see today how key it works out.
Yeah, another tool of the trade that we saw a lot in the regionals was, of course, that chip over the top through ball, and we've seen it a couple of times so far today, early doors, but it's not coming to fruition in terms of goals as the 30 minutes comes and goes here in the opening 45, and it's one that's been pretty even, to be honest. We had the first goal came very early for QDS on the counter-attack, but it's been largely sort of bossed in terms of possession by the Indonesian contingent since, as the ball is hacked away, and a chance again to counter. Now out towards Iwobi on this left-hand side. That's a really late challenge and potentially the first yellow card of the game so far. Well, it's going to be an interesting decision for the referee because it was late. It was not the best challenge. It is just a yellow card though, as a few of the fans wanted to see a slightly different, a more home Arsenal kit colour, as Lacazette plays it out towards Aubameyang on the left-hand side. And again, WANI come again, this wave mentality just starting to brew. How important is it, Ricky, to get that equalising goal before half-time, or do you think they're going to be happy with 1-0 so far at half-time?
Well, they're going to keep working for it. I think they're creating chances, but my worry for them is QDS are very good coming forward. We've seen this. They've only had 1 or 2 chances. They put one away. They have another chance here with Nketiah. They've got to close down. They haven't. Surely there it is, Adam, number 2. What a lead this is just before the break.
Well, we said how important could it be to get that goal, the equalising goal just before half-time. Well, unfortunately, it's gone the other way, and how important equally could a second goal be for QDS? Because again, we saw in the regional finals, once they get 2 goals in front, they are just absolutely lethal on the counter-attack, and it's another counter-attacking goal, and I think we're going to see plenty of this today from many teams, but most importantly from QDS, because it has been so successful. And once again, all the people watching were thinking, how are they going to deal with not having that third player who they've trained with all through the qualification stage as well? They didn't need him at the regionals, and they haven't used him or needed him today so far.
Absolutely. But looking at WANI there defensively, I mean, that's where the problem comes. If the communication isn't there, you're going to create the chances for the opposition. They pulled all 3 players out the way, drew him in, and it's a simple tap-in.
And do you think for that reason, we keep saying how important it is to have 3 versus 2, but we have seen 2 players actually outperform 3, and do you think that's part of the problem in terms of defensively, in terms of that understanding? If you've only got 2 of you, is it a bit easier?
Sometimes it is, and as you can see, QDS are having no problems right now with just 2 players, because obviously you just need 2 of you to communicate, whereas if you have the extra one, there's a little bit more in sync that's needed. We could grab a third one, and it's just wide, Adam.
Yeah, it's a really strong chance again. 3 goals would certainly be curtains here, but unfortunately for them, QDS, it's gone the wrong side of the post, and a sigh of relief here really for WANI, who are hanging on at the end of the first half. They really need to have a solid team talk at half-time to sort of iron out a few issues, which they are having, certainly defensively, because going forwards, they've not been too shabby at all, as Lacazette plays it in towards Mkhitaryan. They, of course, need that first goal to kind of potentially open the floodgates in terms of confidence, but it has finished at the end of the first half here, and it's QDS 2-0 to the good.
Yeah, 2 on target, 2 goals. That's exactly what you want. And they say possession is 9/10 of the law. Well, there it is right there, only 36%, but leading this by 2 goals to 0. And Adam, also with the start of this competition, goal difference could become key. You've got to try and score as many goals as possible. Yeah,
of course, we possibly didn't mention that at the start of the stream. You know, the top 2 will go through from the respective groups A and B into a semi-final pot, and then of course from there the bracket will sort of suggest our winners, what happens there. But yeah, extra time and penalties in the semi-finals, of course, but goal difference could be so crucial in the group stages, fighting for that top 2 positions. You mentioned about possession. Many people get so infatuated almost with stats and possession and shots on target, but as you can see there, that is a perfect example there. Passes made less, possession less, shots on target, shots in general less, pretty much everything less, but crucially they have been absolutely clinical, and we've seen big teams in the past in PES and also in sort of the outer world of football that just have made that sort of style of game their own.
Yeah, it's changed a lot over the years, and obviously it's followed into esports as well. as long as you have the ability to put that ball in the back of the net, doesn't matter what happens. When you look at there, WANI has not made a single save on their part, but they trail by 2-0 as we're trying to get the second half underway.
We're just looking at close-ups here of the two. And what's great about them is the fact that they do have almost like a really great bond, because you've got Kamel, who has that experience. He's been to world finals before, 1v1s, the likes of 2015, and he's been around the camp as well alongside us. Makabal, when he went on to be crowned champion of the PES League, and he's certainly the almost captain figure here. But alongside him, and we mentioned this time and time again, almost like a bit of a broken record in the Porto EU regional finals. The sort of young star that was being born, this Cinderella story that was touted around. This guy here now on your screen, if you can see him, just 17 years of age, and he's just so calm though, isn't he, for that age?
He is, yeah, and sometimes that kind of age, it does play an important part, because he has that factor of the youth, the spell, and it's working out rather well, having obviously a more experienced 25-year-old with a 17-year-old. But yeah, they just need to keep playing the way they are in this second half, as we hope to get it underway very, very shortly. Looks like we are off and running, and WANI have to score now 2 goals.
Yeah, I mean, the old cliche, it's a case of the next goal is all crucial, and it's Danny Welbeck, a chance for 3, and that certainly would have been the start that QDS wanted, because we talked about the sort of, the team talk that, of course, the trio from Indonesia were going to have to make, but equally, QDS would have probably gone in and gone, you know what, 2-0 up, really, really good performance so far. Just more of the same, please, because if we can get a third, we can pretty much give ourselves 3 points in the opening group game, and that would, of course, confidence-wise and of course, just in terms of sheer numbers, will give them a great start, won't it?
Yeah, huge boost, obviously, winning that first game, and I think they just need to keep playing the same way they have been. Sometimes if you go a little bit defensive, as the ball's flicked on, not quite sure what happened there defensively, but yeah, WANI, I've been surprised at them. They've not looked that great at the back.
Yeah, and they've not been great in open play, and also set pieces as well. We mentioned how they might be so important. They've looked a little bit shaky as well. Another chance there. Lucky for them, Leno was able to claim, but certainly there was far too much room in and around the 6-yard box as Hector Bellerin fires that ball back towards Leno, and WANI just kind of need to take a calming sort of talk now, and because at the end of the day, if they concede again in the next 5 minutes, as we've said, it will be all over. But nevertheless, if they can grab that elusive goal, they will be right back in this game as it's played through towards Aubameyang, and what a stop and what an important save that may prove to be. The pressure's still on as Maitland-Niles finally hacks it away. Ricky, big chance.
Yeah, once again, they just can't put the ball in the back of the net. The goalies are pulling out the stops. They've got to keep this pressure on, though. The momentum is key. Keep the ball in QDS's half. Try not to get them out and just take chances, because if you don't create, you're not going to score. But we've just gone 10 minutes now into the second half. They are playing it well, but here, this is the chance, Adam. When you lose possession there, you could get caught.
So dangerous, and it is Danny Welbeck who has made the run through the middle. It's Aubameyang's decided to play it left, and it makes its way out to Iwobi. The chance does disintegrate and disappear, but nevertheless, again, it's more time wasted and almost pickpocketed there on the edge of his area. Quedesshlags playing a very, very dangerous game as Lacazette picks it up now and twists and turns and looks for support. WANI need to get that big chance, and they need to take it, but on the counter-attack, the offside flag is raised. Controversial, because that is a hair's breadth, just the wrong side. We talk about arms, legs. That looked like a mere stud to me there, Ricky.
Was very, very close, and if he was through, it was possibly number 3. But we've got another chance. They've lost possession again.
They're just wide open now, aren't they, at the back?
They are. They're obviously going to push more players forward, but do you want to take too much of a gamble? Yes, you lose the first game, but there are, of course, still 2 more matches to play.
And you mentioned goal difference, of course, as Aubameyang plays it in towards Maitland-Niles. Another chance to pull the trigger. 6s and 7s at the back now for WANI, and they've got a really long, hard look at themselves if this game continues, because they could concede many more, because QDS looks so dangerous on the counter-attack.
They do. They keep playing some very, very good football. We'll see some maybe tactical changes in the lineup. You can see playing very deep at the moment.
Yeah, we we sort of normally touch on this sort of 60, 70-minute mark when many changes are made, both formation and personnel. What would you do now if you were, you obviously play a lot of PES, what would you do now if you were in WANI's shoes in order to try and change something? Because they almost need an extra gear now, don't they?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you could play 3 at the back, could go 3-5-2, possibly cram it through the midfield, because I feel like that's where they're lacking, they're losing possession in midfield, they're getting caught, they've been countered a couple of times now. They've just got some sort of a mindset. They've got to get their mind back into this and just start performing. I think we may have some issues going on, so we're just waiting to see what happens here, but still focused.
Yeah, they both. I mean, both camps look very, very calm still. QDS, we've waxed lyrical so far about how good they've been in certain areas. Can you see a weakness that you can pinpoint that WANI might be able to exploit as the ball again whisks across the face, and that set piece fragility comes to the front again as it's cleared away towards Hector Bellerin, and a chance here to counter with Maitland-Niles. Now this is something that QDS have been doing so far. Can WANI now on the other foot do the exact same thing as Nketiah just stalls on possession? And I mean, that's really good defending from QDS to nullify that attack, and again they're straight on it in the heart of the midfield as he wins the ball back. I think it was Torreira who pinched the ball there, but yeah, have you seen something, Ricky, that they could exploit WANI in terms of a weakness for QDS?
Well, they've had chances, so it's not like they haven't. If they hadn't created anything, I'd say QDS are defending phenomenally well, but they are still, I mean, look at the pressure they're putting on them. They're not giving him the time of day, which is when WANI, as I said before, they play possession. If you're going to play possession, though, you've got to make the passes count, and they're just not doing that. Yeah,
as the ball gets played out of the defender there, and it's a chance for Socrates to play the ball in. 20 minutes probably there or thereabouts, including additional time here, as Willock is again dispossessed, and it's out towards Aubameyang. Another chance here for WANI to build something here, but they need to score, and they need to score now as the ball gets played through towards Aubameyang, and there's the chance. It's into the back of the net, but the offside flag is raised, and you could sense the fans from Indonesia thought that might be their moment, but unfortunately for them, rightly ruled out, Ricky, for offside.
Yeah, it's better though, playing those balls over the top. And we do have a chance here. John Jules, we saw him a couple of times in the of course, Liverpool back in December. But we have 15 minutes left, and it is mostly WANI right now, but they are so good, QDS, on the counter, that don't write them off to grab a third.
Yeah, don't write them off to grab a third, but remember, we talk about 2-0 being a very, very dangerous scoreline to have, even if you are the ones with the 2 goals, because 1 goal now could really sway complete momentum. But on the other hand, they've got another chance on the counter-attack. It's Nketiah, it's a horrific challenge, and it's got to be a big decision for the referee to make. We've seen these given as red time and time again, and it's another red card here, and it's turned into a miserable first game, unfortunately, for WANI, and they've got to pick themselves off the floor after this one, because surely now all 3 points will be heading towards QDS, and they could really put a postage stamp on this performance with a 3rd goal as it again gets fired away right at the death. But QDS have been so impressive on the counter-attack. Almost all of their chances have come in that form as Willock plays it back towards Danny Welbeck. It is behind him, and a chance to clear the lines, but with 10 men it looks like it is all over now for WANI, apart from the fact if we see something truly majestic, a miracle really, Ricky.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. QDS could maybe grab a third here or put it in the corner, it's up to them, but yeah, I just love the movement of watching QDS. The players are running left, right and centre. They're so in sync. And it looks like having just 2 players right now is working out really well for them.
Indeed it is, as Kolasinac throws down towards Aubameyang. They just simply haven't been able to take the chances, certainly in the first half. They've not really created too many in the second half, but they've got a chance here, and it's dropped here for Nketiah, left foot shot, and he's fired it wide of the target again, and it has to go down. A half chance, but another chance nevertheless.
Another chance, yep, that's gone begging. I mean, a little bit fortunate there, but yeah, I think players are in his way, and yeah, he's just sliced at it. I mean, they've had chances at him. It's not like WANI can't after this game. I think it's too late now. Say we haven't created, they have. But I think defensively, it's something they're going to have to think about. Maybe the communication isn't working for them.
Of course, this is their first game of Group A, WANI, and they will have another 3 games to play. They certainly don't want to concede again, and that is exactly what has happened. Aubameyang, calm, cool, collected, and another sensational counter-attacking goal from QDS.
Oh, sensational is the right word. Yeah, beautifully done, and I'm so impressed with this first game by them. They have just been really ruthless, I think the word is, in front of goal, and this was just in a nutshell, played through the middle. You can see the through pass. They saw the run, went round the goalie, or just took his time pretty much, because the old manual goalie came into play. Right there's the pass, took his time, and then into basically an empty net.
We've talked time and time again about how calm they've been, this duo from France, of course, QDS in front of goal, that they really, I'm struggling to think of a chance they've had that they haven't taken.
No, I'll love to see the stats at the end of this game to see how many they've put away from how many chances, maybe 5 maximum, whereas WANI have had a good 5, 6, 7, but still haven't scored. And we are now into obviously the 91st minute. And overall, Adam, very impressive performance by the French side.
Absolutely, as we tick into the final seconds, and QDS are on the counter-attack again. They keep winning the ball high. This high press is working time and time again. It's into Katia. Oh, Leno went for the manual goalkeeping dive towards the far post, and it's ricocheted off his shin into the back of the net. And we're talking about, we talk about good opening game performances, but this, Ricky, is a fantastic opening game performance from QDS.
Now, what a belter it's been, and that red card now shows you how important it is to keep 11 players on the field. Maybe they should have just let them score the 3rd goal, but unfortunately now they've got the red, lost a player, and they've now conceded 2 goals in the space of about, 10 minutes.
We usually get to around the sort of 3rd, 4th game potentially in a lot of these regionals and world finals, and we see a game and we think, well, hang on, that's just put a stamp on this, but this is sending shockwaves now through the PES League. We potentially seen it in game 1, because we were talking about how good QDS could be, but I mean, this is a sensational early performance, isn't it?
Absolutely, and there it is. Aubameyang gets a hat-trick, and Katia scores after the 93rd minute. But yeah, they're going to be thoroughly delighted, Adam, with a phenomenal. I don't think they would have dreaming of such a start. To score 4 and let alone not concede. And they did start off a little bit sluggish as well, but they just kept